I'm Charles Meriday, and I'm in the restaurant business. In my 20 years as a chef and restaurant owner, I've been able to work and eat in some of the great kitchens around the globe. There's a whole side of the restaurant that most people will never get to see. So now, I want to take you to the back of the house, into kitchens of some of the best chefs in the world. Along the way, I'll share some of my own tips and recipes so you can cook like a pro too. So join me in the back of the house for a whole new perspective on cooking and food. Order in. Roger. Service, please.
Buona Pasqua.
I'm glad that you came, please.
This episode of Back of the House is sponsored by McQuaid & Company Real Estate Services.
So today we're going to be working on the brasserie menu for our new restaurant at Coconut Point Mall, Meriday's Brasserie. And brasserie really is all about traditional French cooking, presented and prepared in a little bit more refined manner, professional service, crisp linen, in a really nice setting. And brasseries are typically larger restaurants. But it still has a very comfortable feel to it, and the food is also very comfortable. So today we're going to do a classic French dish, coq au vin, which translates really to chicken with wine, and it's just a classic, and it's really delicious. So we're going to start by breaking down this really nice organic free-range chicken here from Bell & Evans, and we're going to start with the whole chicken right here. We're going to lay the chicken out really quickly, use a boning knife, and we're going to make two quick cuts here along the legs right here. Alright, I'll let my hands do a lot of the work here. Alright, come back around. Alright, take the leg off, leg and thigh. Alright, for both. Alright, let me come right down the middle. And we're going to take, it's actually really nice to leave on the bone with the breast. But for restaurant purposes, I like to take it off the bone. It's a lot easier for people to handle, a lot easier for people to eat. They don't have to fight with the bones on the breast anyway. Alright, so I'm going to take the breast off. I'm going to leave the wing bone intact. Like that. I'm just going to do this really quickly. I'm not overly concerned with leaving too much excess on the carcass because we're going to turn around. We're going to use these bones to make a stock. Alright, so these are the portions that we're looking for. You have the remainder there. So we have a nice chicken breast. We're going to trim up. I'm going to take the end segment off of the wing bones there. And in the restaurant, this is what we call an airline chicken breast. There we have it. We're going to season these with some salt and pepper. Kosher salt. This style of French food is really about like what your grandmother would cook. It's very rustic and very simple. It's just about having great ingredients. But it's a braised dish. It cooks for a couple of hours. And it really has a lot of depth and flavor. And it's really delicious when it's done. Kind of like the pot roast your grandmother made. Alright, so hot pan. And go through quickly the ingredients. Of course, we have the chicken. We're gonna start with some slab bacon from Newski's here, and we're gonna saute that bacon. Gonna let that render down. We've already kind of pre-cooked it a little bit. Mirepoix, which is basically the cornerstone of French cooking. Carrots, celery, and onions. It's the real basis of everything that we use to make sauces and stocks and really give the flavor to the food. So those are the basic ingredients: carrots, celery, onions. And in this case, another classic French ingredient that's going to really be nice in this dish. Some beautiful white button mushrooms. It's very simple, nothing fancy, just really nice. We're going to start with the skin side down in the pan. All right. Skin side down there. I'm going to take this bacon out. I want to make sure it doesn't burn. Take that out. We'll add that back in. Now what we want to do is just sear the skin, make sure it's really nice and brown and crispy for our braise. So when you're braising something, it's a moist heat cooking style. So we're going to add liquid to that. We're going to cover it about 3/4 of the way and with liquid and mirepoix, and we're going to finish it in the oven. Or you can finish it on top of the stove, but I prefer the oven. Alright. That's what you're looking for. Nice and golden. Alright, so now the chicken is nice and golden brown. We're going to do the same thing with the vegetables. We're going to take it out, we're going to leave the same oil in the pan. And I'm leaving these mushrooms whole. I'm not going to cut them, I'm not slicing them and quartering them, anything. And the reason for that is when you go to eat them, it's going to have a lot of nice texture, more than when you would just go to eat a sliced mushroom. I'm leaving them whole, put them right in there. All of these vegetables, I want them to be larger because this dish takes about 2 hours. So I want the vegetables still to have some texture, and I don't want them to fall apart and turn into mush. So I'm leaving them nice, large cuts. And the idea is to keep all of the cuts similar in size. So they cook roughly at the same pace. I'm going to add some fresh thyme into this. I'm just going to leave it whole on the stem, and then at the end we're going to come back and we'll just take the stems out. That's going to really add a nice aroma and flavor. I really want to brown these vegetables. You see how the mushrooms and the onions taking on a nice color? I mean, that's just beautiful. And that's exactly what you want. It's really nice. Make sure everything is nice and caramelized. Now once we have this, we're going to go back in with our chicken. Bacon back in. Chicken. Right on top. Chicken on top. Alright. And then we're going to use red wine for this. This is Dumas de Gassac, and this is actually a Grand Cru from the Languedoc. It's a really nice red wine, but it's also not very expensive. It's really affordable, but still good quality. And that's extremely important when you're cooking. You want to make sure you're cooking with wine. That's the same wine that you would drink. You don't want to use anything that's called cooking wine or anything that you wouldn't drink in a glass normally. That's a very important tip when you're cooking with wine. So I'm going to be really generous with this because this is coq au vin, so we want it to be a considerable amount. Wine is one of the main ingredients in the dish. So as you can see, like I said, about 3/4 of the way. I don't want to completely submerge it. I want it to really, be almost covered in liquid. And I'm going to add some chicken stock as well. Alright, you can choose to really cover this or not. It's really optional. I like to leave mine uncovered. I like for it to get a really dark and rich crust on the top. And it might be less than attractive while it's in the oven, but when it comes out and when you taste it, it makes a huge difference. So we're gonna pop this in the oven, then we're gonna do some television magic and bring out one that we already have ready. All right. Oh, look at that. Look at that right there, huh? You can see how dark it's gotten. A lot from the red wine. Even the meat in the chicken is really, just really dark and rich. But this is going to be extremely delicious. And let me tell you, really, really good. It's going to be fall off the bone, tender, and really yummy. So at this point, what we would do is we would take this out, take out the chicken, and then the liquid that's in there, reduce that down until it makes a nice sauce. It comes down to a nice consistency that you'll be able to just ladle over the chicken, and it's just going to be delicious. We're going to taste it to make sure that it doesn't need to be adjusted for any seasonings after it's done. So here's a little bit of the final version right there, reduced down. Man, oh man. I'm gonna get that mirepoix out of there because that's gonna be, the vegetable that we actually serve with the chicken. And a nice bacon. I finish it with a little bit of fresh chopped parsley. Make sure we brighten it up some. And then some butter. Gotta have that, just to smooth it out. Nice and silky. Make it nice and rich. Haricot vert, which is a French green bean. I just want to put them in there just so it's a nice bright green note. I always like to have that in every dish, something that's fresh and bright and green, even if it's a classic braise like this. Gonna let those warm through. So really, at this point in the dish, it really almost becomes more about this than it is about the chicken. This is gonna add just as much depth and substance to this dish as the chicken will, if not more actually. Make sure you want to taste it. And we're good. Oh man, that is really good. Yeah, really. Wow. That is good though. Okay, so we're just gonna serve this with a little bit of potato puree. Just right down in the center of the plate. Leg and thigh portion there. Breast. And now all this goodness. Brasserie food is more comfortable and classic and hearty. So we're using the whole plate. It's not, Michelin star food. It's just comfortable flavors that just really taste good. Beautiful vegetables there on top. And then the sauce just right over. Okay, voila, coq au vin. All right. That's tomatoes from the bar singled out. All right, this is braised lamb shank with Moroccan spices. It's slowly cooked and served with couscous and fresh vegetables. Moroccan spices have curry and cumin and cinnamon, and they're very vibrant and really different. Very nice though. Nicely slow cooked braised dishes really have a lot of flavor and a lot of depth, and that's what we're looking for the new menu for the brasserie. It's just really deep flavors that are really concentrated and really hearty food. Very simple but flavorful, and I think this is a really good version of that.
a whole roasted beeliner snapper, and it's stuffed with lemon and fresh thyme and green onions. Go right here. Yeah, heirlooms, all different types.
Give me the wipe on that.
On a fourth course, you got a snapper and a pad thai. Beats 1, Wad 2, 43.
Don't go away. There'll be more cooking and food when Back of the House returns after these messages.
Hi, I'm Tiffany McQuaid of McQuaid & Company Real Estate Services. If you're buying or selling a home, let McQuaid & Company give you the comprehensive edge in achieving your residential and investment goals. From outstanding multimedia marketing programs to sell your property, to deep knowledge of the region's marketplace to find your new home, our highly experienced McQuaid & Company team will provide you with maximum results with a personal touch. We call it real estate to the nth degree.
Alto Live Jazz Kitchen is Southwest Florida's new hotspot for dinner and nightlife. Featuring local and nationally known jazz acts 7 nights a week, award-winning cuisine, a full bar, and extensive wine list, Alto is the ultimate destination for great music and food. Come see what everyone is talking about at Alto Live Jazz Kitchen, located in Bayfront, downtown Naples, or go to altonaples.com for a current menu and entertainment schedule. We now return to Back of the House with Charles Meraday. How did you get involved in cooking and being a chef?
Well, I started cooking when I was in high school. I started cooking in restaurants professionally. I guess you could call it professionally. But I started, having a job, cooking in high school. And even before that, I grew up on a farm, and cooking was a really big part of our life. We raised animals, and we had gardens, and I grew up in a large family setting where cooking was really just a huge part of daily life. A lot of great cooks in my family, and I knew from about middle school that I wanted to be a chef, and I started doing research and trying to look into culinary schools and determine how I wanted to start that career. And actually, believe it or not, I used to watch the show Three's Company on television, and Jack Tripper was the star of the show, and he was a chef, and that was one of the first, I guess, times in my life where I was exposed to seeing a chef in action. Even though it was a sitcom, it seemed like a fun job, so I figured I'd want to try that. And here I am. Oh yeah, here we go, man. Whenever you're ready.
The squash.
Ready. All right. Yeah, these look awesome, actually.
Yeah, they came in nice.
Oh man, look at these. All right, so these are beautiful baby squash. It's just that time of the year right now. This will be a featured item on our menu. And we get most of these products from the Chef's Garden up in Ohio. You can also see the blossoms here.
Yeah, so we got squash blossoms here from Chef's Garden. We usually do a filling, ricotta or goat cheese and herb, pipe them into the squash blossom, and then tempura them and deep fry them. Sometimes we'll do them with raviolis, do like a butternut squash ravioli and a stuffed squash blossom, and maybe some peas or fava beans or something. They do, other flowers. These are nasturtium. These are really nice. They have a nice peppery bite to them, so they go nice, just a little accent maybe with foie gras or, the beet salad that we do. Plus just a beautiful garnish, and it's edible. A lot of people I see doing garnishes that aren't edible and don't really, it's just something to add to the dish for color. Well, this will give it color, flavor, and everything. So these are pretty cool too.
Here's some beautiful baby lacinato kale. And you can just see how gorgeous that is. And this is my favorite time of the year because of the farm is just in full swing right there. And it's just amazing.
They take a lot of time and pride in their products, which is the same we do with our finished dishes. So it really goes hand in hand with each other. It makes it easy for us to create beautiful and flavorful dishes because a lot of the products already have so much flavor to them without any added anything.
And so now's the time of the year when we really probably shift our focus from meat and seafood focused dishes to more vegetable focused dishes. We'll see a lot of the main dishes on the menu really have, the core item on the menu is going to be the vegetable as opposed to, the chicken or the filet or the different type of fish, because this is just that time of the year when everything is so beautiful that we really just want to focus on that and feature it so we can really help people to become exposed to it, and it's pretty amazing. All right, we're gonna do a classic snapper dish. Actually, one of the first dishes I ever learned how to cook. Really simple, really traditional, fresh fillet of local snapper here. These are mangrove snappers, so they're smaller fish. All right, nice hot pan. You see it smoking, smoke point in oil. I like to sear the fish on one side first. So originally this dish would call for red onions. So instead of doing red onions, I'm just going to use a shallot. I'm just going to place it right on top of the fish here. Next you would layer on some fresh basil leaf. What we do here at the restaurant, we make a pitsu, which is basically just different herbs, basil, parsley, chives, etc. Just pureed together with olive oil. Probably the only time I've ever used a pepper like this. Sliced yellow pepper. And then sliced heirloom tomato. A little bit of salt. And then white wine. And it goes right into the oven. The oven, we're just gonna cook it just like that, like as close to the flame as possible. And we'll get started out with browning a little bit of garlic in the pan. I like for it to just get a little bit golden. I'm gonna add the potatoes, salt, pepper. All right. Go right into the oven too. Fish, just get a little fresh thyme on there. Herbs, salt. That this is probably going to take about 12 minutes. So you got the snapper, nice and melted. Right on top. micro basil is the garnish here. I'm just gonna finish it with a little bit of the herb pistu here. Just around the fish. That's it. Nice and simple. About this beef is the marbling and the fat content, the fat that's suspended within the protein. I'm going to be serving that with the little fresh truffles. These are summer truffles, summer black truffles.
Actually,
And so this is the cool thing about this is that this is a German knife, but it's Japanese. It's made in Japan. Japanese technology, German steel. So with the Damascus, it still has some carbon in it, allows you to sharpen it, and it's lightweight too. So I mean, it's pretty cool. But the reason I really like is the.
So this is a new dish we have on here, Meridays. This is our house-made pappardelle pasta. This is the second pick out of Washington, fresh morel mushrooms, duck confit, and some fresh summer black truffle shaved on top, and some fresh shaved parmesan. A little bit of veal jus in there and butter to bring it all together. Really rustic dish, very simple, but tons and tons of flavor.
It's right between Opus 1, Brown, and you name all the big wineries. This is right in between. So just crossing the street, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah. And you call it half the price as the rest of the books are.
wir trinken, no, not roast, not roast. No. In Germany we say, wir trinken schöne Weine.
We drink good wine.
Okay.
Schöne Weine.
Drink good wines with good friends.
And then we say Prost.
Then we say Prost.
And then again, just really quickly, that's smoking here. Pull it off the heat. Wow. That's gonna be a cut right there, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Got me blowing up the pan here.
You want some serious fire?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going tonight?
Going good. I'll pan for chicken.
Give it to me, D-Rod.